Situation here, and here we go again. It involves a black woman. You know, it's getting pretty tiring, I guess, for me to actually do videos like this. I guess in a sense, almost in a sense, back-to-back videos, regarding the issues and behaviors of black women. Again, let me put this disclaimer out there, just as a reminder, because again, some people, they may think that I, don't like black women, but again, this is not a video to beat up on black women. I love my black women. This is just some information that I feel that needs to be said regarding recent incidents or recent things that has been going on in the news media lately regarding this particular situation by a girl named, or a young woman named Carly Russell. I can be honest, and I'm going to be straightforward with you with this. From the moment that I actually learned of this particular incident, as well as most of everybody else in America, I pretty much knew that something was fishy. If you're going to actually make up something that is going to be halfway believable. Again, I'm not advocating for anybody to go and do something stupid and break the law, knowingly break the law. But again, if you're going to do something or break the law, be smart about it. Make sure that you actually plan this thing out thoroughly and, make it where it can be somewhat believable that this particular incident, as far as kidnapping, could have possibly happened. One thing that I can actually say, and I'm going to be just very frank in this video, is that the best way for people to lose respect for you, regardless of age, race, or sex, or whatever the case may be, is when you lie. And the thing about it is that, when you lie, you have to keep telling lies to cover up the previous lie. And, and that's a quick way for people to lose respect for you, is, by lying. Now, again, this is not to actually beat up on her per se as an individual, because again, we've all been guilty of lying about something, that we may have did, a place that we may have gone, a type of person that we are, just things. We may call it a little lie or whatever the case may be. But again, a lie is a lie. But what makes this situation so significant, if I can say that, is the fact that we're dealing with issues regarding, again, I would say in a sense, back-to-back issues regarding situations and circumstances regarding young black women. Again, it wasn't long ago, again, about a week or so ago, that I did a video about Keke Palmer and, her issues and, and how she wants to be represented in everything through social media, as far as, her persona, what she wants to do, how she wants to portray herself to, to society. And see, one thing about it, again, is that, when you come from that and then you end up in a situation like this, you have to really think about really how society is starting to view young black women, or just black women in general. It's very hard for someone to actually maintain or actually put you in high regards when you keep showing someone bad behavior. And basically with this particular situation, it pretty much, I would say it was just pretty much, it was an ill thought out situation from the very jump. for the most part, I can probably say that this situation actually pretty much stemmed from the preface of actually wanting to be recognized, wanting to be noticed, wanting to be, admired, just pretty much wanting to be seen. And again, this goes right back to the same issue regarding, again, Keke Palmer and her situation. It came from the fact of, okay, you are putting yourself out there. You want people to take you seriously. You want to be seen as an individual capable and this, that, and the other. When you jump from one extreme to something like this, it's like we're traveling down the ladder. And normally when you're actually wanting respect, you're actually looking to move up the ladder, where you can get that respect. And that's done through hard work, being truthful, being pretty much a woman, in this case, of integrity. And basically, again, anytime you do that, when you keep on displaying bad behavior, your value, and I put that in quotation marks, your value, it drops. It's already hard enough, as a lot of people will say, and as I've witnessed, and I'm pretty sure those who are listening to this video has witnessed this as well, it's hard for black women to really get respect. Let's just be real. Like I said, you don't have to be a black woman in order to see it, because again, society has its way of showing it every day. But when you keep giving people or giving society a reason to not like you or to disrespect you, and this done all, and the thing about it is that all of this is caused by your own doing. What really gets me in this situation here is that you have people who seem smart, but they do dumb things. Now, when you really dissect this issue and really think about this, as far as out of everything that, that could have been, I guess, thought out or planned or, this, that, and the other, you're going to use the fact of a story of a baby, a toddler, I'm assuming, wandering aimlessly down an Alabama freeway. And next thing you know, and see, one thing about it that when I heard this story, when I hear things like this, I have a reason to really stop and think critically, because again, kidnapping and all these type of things, it's a very serious issue. Okay. And we hear about black women being kidnapped every day. And see, this is what makes this situation so dire, is the fact that this woman actually, again, took it upon herself to make a joke of the justice system, of these type of situations where women were really kidnapped and possibly killed. She's sitting up there making a mockery of the justice system. And see, the thing about it again, about this situation is that, again, yes, you are hearing about stories every day of women being kidnapped, being taken away from their home. And basically the next thing we don't hear about them anymore. And the next thing, years later down the road, they find skeletal remains somewhere in a field somewhere. And then they do an autopsy and come to find out it was that person that was missing years earlier. But for you to know all of this type of stuff and still want to be selfish and do something stupid just so you can get your name out there, I don't understand what goes on in the brain cells of these type of people. And again, it sounds like, she did the same thing that Jussie Smollett did. And I'm pretty sure there are some memes going around social media regarding Jussie Smollett and, and how they compared what he did to what she did. And it's basically stemming from the same thing. You want notoriety. You want to be seen. You want people to know who you are. Yes, we know who you are, but it's not in a good way. One thing I can say also is that, I have a reason. And again, this is not a dig at all black women, because again, thank God all black women don't behave and do stupid things like this young lady do. But I have a reason to really think twice or actually listen to what a typical young black woman has to say, because again, and the thing about it is that it's sad for me to say what I'm about to say, because again, I have a sister. And even with my, relationship with my sister, I've learned that I cannot really trust a lot of things that she say, because again, she has the propensity to constantly lie just to make herself look good, just because she happens to be the only girl as far as all of my mom's children. She will lie. She will do this and change the narrative on everything just so she can look like the innocent person. And then when the truth comes out, it comes out that she's not the innocent person that she wants everybody to think that she is. But the issue is that she becomes the perpetrator of this particular incident and putting everybody's lives at risk. All because, again, of what you want and how selfish you want to be. But again, I had actually told a story in one of my videos back in the past, where I was actually concerned about a coworker, and basically they came to me indicating that they were being sexually harassed by, someone else that worked in the office. This was when I was working in a call center. And long story short, basically she was not being very truthful in the matter, because she pretty much wanted to throw the other person under the bus as if the attention that she was getting was unwanted. Well, come to find out, after HR did their investigation, because again, I had to do the right thing and go to HR, because again, I don't play those type of games. Friends or no friends. If somebody's being harassed, again, the proper people need to be notified. But anyway, after HR did their investigation, they come to find out that she actually was guilty of a lot of things. And the thing about it is that her actions were that was actually causing this other man to interact with her sexually. And then what really got me is the fact that I was actually friends with this young man, and basically, we struck up a friendship and everything like that. And I don't know, why she would come to me and say that, well, your friend is sexually harassing me and this, that, and the other. So basically HR did their investigation and come to find out the two was actually messing with each other sexually outside of the workplace. Out of everything that she told me, she left that part out. So I'm thinking that, she's coming to work, wanting to do her job, and she's being harassed just for being a woman, but come to find out, they were pretty much messing with each other outside of the work, which really gave him the impression that it was okay for him to constantly, do things sexually, even if it's on the job. So basically it made me look like a fool, because now he looked at me funny as if I was a troublemaker. And I said, well, you know what? I'm only going and doing the right thing based on what she told me. She says that you were harassing her. I didn't want to get involved with it. So basically I went to the authorities and so they can handle it. But after HR found out about the situation, she had told him, she said, you know what? You owe him, meaning me, you owe me an apology, because again, you were not truthful with what it was that you were saying. Come to find out, she was jealous, I guess, of how he was interacting with other people on the job, I guess to include myself. I don't know where that came from, but basically what she did is she actually lied to make him look stupid, and hoping that, when all was said and done, that his reputation would be out and open. But in all actuality, she ended up becoming very suspect under HR's eyes as well as him. And basically they were ordered not to say anything else to each other on the job. And basically they were not to speak of the incidents anymore. She later moved away, to another state or whatever the case may be. But it was the issue that she came to me and wanted to portray to be the victim, but yet still all along she was messing with the dude on the side, which really commanded, or actually that made him think that it was okay for him to constantly pursue her sexually. And see, one thing about it that I learned my lesson from that is that, and I'm not saying that this is true for all women, but when it comes to those type of things, I make sure that I do my research and I go back and re-research before I get involved. Better yet, what I do is I don't even get involved anymore. What I do is I let them know, hey, you know what? If such and such is happening, you need to go and tell the proper people so they can handle it. Because I'm done trying to be the best person, or to be your best friend, or to be the responsible person. And next thing you know, I get screwed up in the end. So my thing is, like I say, is that, it's not the fact that we did not want to trust her. It's just the fact that, in this case here, the Alabama situation, it's just the fact that the whole story was just bizarre from the very start. They actually, her mother, I guess, was on the news outlet, I guess, recently, once, all of this stuff was discovered. And basically, she was saying, that, she was defending her daughter, which, of course, you would expect a mother to defend her daughter. But it was the part about what she said at the end of the interview that really stuck out to me. And she was mentioning something about pray for her mental health or something, some other something, something like that. So that lets me know right there that the mother already knows that the daughter has a tendency to not be truthful in things. And the issue is that, once she said that, for the most part, her credibility, her daughter's credibility, it was shot. Like I say, I really didn't want to hear any more about the case, because for the most part, I knew, again, that the truth was really about to, come out. Because when you're actually sitting up there doing an interview, you're trying to I guess, shed light on the situation as far as, portraying or talking about your daughter or whatever. The last thing that you're going to talk about is someone's mental state. She volunteered that information and mentioned something about, having, that her daughter, about the situation about her daughter's mental state. So that lets me know right there that she know that her daughter has issues. But again, I guess, she really, I guess, did not really want folks to really know that. But again, the cat's out of the bag. But the disappointing part about this is that, her daughter she seemed to be very accomplished. I don't know if she graduated. I know they showed some pictures of her, in some sort of educational robe or something like that. I guess she had got some sort of high level degree or something. I don't know. But I do remember just kind of looking at brief pictures of her, online. For the most part, she was in a cap and gown. And basically, with that being said, you would wonder what goes through the heads of people, when you have all of this level of achievement and accomplishments. What would really make you want to do something so horrendous and so stupid like that? As I begin to follow the case, and really see what's going on, because again, this case really did kind of intrigue me. They were actually, I guess the people were, or I would say the town where this happened, they did, they utilized their resources, took out the police, did all their searches and everything like that. And come to find out, the woman wasn't kidnapped. She returned home 2 days later after reporting the incident. Which really, again, I was like, okay, here's another thing that doesn't sound right. Okay, first we're talking about a baby that was wandering aimlessly on the Alabama freeway. And I guess she was the only person that saw it, which really to me didn't make any sense either. Because if a baby is wandering on a freeway, it's just on a freeway in general, there are going to be more than one person that actually see this child. And basically, that means that a lot of people are going to be calling 911 and this, that, and the other. So why is it that off of a busy freeway, she's going to be the only one that make the phone call? See, I think like this. I don't know if anybody else, but when I heard about this, I'm thinking, okay, I'm listening to details, but as I'm hearing things, come to pass or more developments, I'm like, wait a minute, something is just not adding up. You're on a busy freeway and you're the only person that saw this thing and called it in. Nobody else who was on the freeway saw this thing. You're the only one that saw it. That was clue number one. When they got there and they see the car missing, I don't know, they saw a purse or something. I don't know. They saw some of her belongings, I guess, all in the car or whatever the case may be. But the baby, and I put that in quotes, and she was missing. And then 2 days later, you show up at your parents' house or wherever. Later, they actually said that they actually went on her computer and actually saw that she was actually Googling on how to stage a kidnapping. And see, one thing that you have to understand is like when you're at technology, it will tell on you if you are not careful about what you're doing. If you're going to do something like this, at least be smart enough to try to at least erase your tracks. But basically, they were pulling evidence from her computer and they looked at all of the searches that she did. And it was indicating that, she was looking up how to stage a kidnapping and all, and a whole lot of other stuff. They got her boyfriend involved in it and all that type of stuff too, asking questions and everything like that. And then come to find out in recent events, as of the date of this video, they found out that she lied about the whole thing. So now we're in a situation here. And now we don't even know what to do because, again, why would someone actually do something so stupid? An educated person, but yet still you do something so stupid. It really baffles the human mind. One of the main things I can actually say that I really don't like that is actually pushed on one gender but not the other is the concept of accountability. I cannot tell you how many times I've been in conversations, and the thing about it again is that it's like it's a lopsided situation. Anytime that, and let's say that we're talking about a relationship type of setting. Anytime that the man messes up, especially a black man, the first thing that a black woman wants to do is to pin this black man against the wall and rip him for everything that he's worth. I mean, from head to toe, spilling the tea, if you will, talking about the faults, how I should have did this, how I should have did that, I should have known this, that, and the other. Basically, pretty much pinning him to the wall, making him and actually forcing him to become accountable for his actions. But when the script is flipped and the black woman messes up and we ask for her to be accountable for what she did, there's a problem. And see, this is the stuff that we're talking about here. And I hate the fact that, it's going to be interesting to see, again, what type of punishment Miss Carly is going to get as a result of being stupid. And see, one thing about it, again, is that it's okay, I guess, for one person to do wrong. But the thing about it, again, is that when you hold them accountable, you got to have a whole bunch of other people that's coming to their aid to let them know that, get off her back. She was going through a whole lot of this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other. We can just overlook that. One thing about it, again, is that if you're going to actually hold the man accountable for his behaviors, and yeah, we have a whole lot of flaws, and I'm not saying that we don't, then guess what? We got to, again, return that and do, I guess, and reciprocate and hold the black women accountable for their actions as well. And it's a saying, I guess, and again, I don't know. It's a saying out there that says, one thing that, that black women won't do is actually they don't want to take accountability of their actions. Now, again, I'm not using this as a broad brush statement because, again, I don't know all black women. I have to, again, constantly tell folks that because, again, for some reason, they think that I'm talking about all black women. But for the most part, from what I've seen, that's one of the main things that really that is the enemy of a black woman. Because, again, the black woman, anytime we think of the image of the black woman as far as a relationship and societal views is that, she's to be protected. She's to be, cared for and loved. And all of that is good and all of that is fine as well. But the issue is there has to be a standard. There has to be some sort of rule. There has to be some sort of situation where if you mess up, you're going to have to suffer the consequences just like a black man. But again, we're not ready to have that conversation yet. One thing about it, again, is that, and this is, again, life lessons to be learned here. This particular incident, and again, and coupled with Keke Palmer, it's making the value of the black woman drop to an all-time low. They're already complaining about the fact about is that as far as relationship wise, they're the last ones picked. But the issue is that when you do stupid stuff like this, nobody wants to be in a relationship with a mental case. I mean, who does this type of stuff? One thing about it, again, is that I hate, this whole concept of social media because, again, before social media was out there, of course, there were other forms of social media besides the television or the computer screen. But just generally speaking about social media as we know it today, people wasn't behaving the way that they were behaving because, number one, they didn't really see any value of wanting to be noticed. But with what social media offers today, people are doing everything they can to become the next person discovered, I guess to get the clicks, the views, and all this other type of stuff. But the issue is that the things that they're doing to get this attention that they are so desperately wanting, it's ridiculous. So now, and my heart really goes out to quote unquote black women for the most part because of situations like this. it's like one apple is spoiled, is really making a name for everybody. And like I said, this is not a bad looking woman at all. She's actually pretty nice looking. She's a very attractive person. But the issue is that your actions is what's being called into question. What's the motive? Why would you do something like this? You've disrupted America. And not only that, you've actually made other black women look bad. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of, what she's going to have to do in order to correct the situation. Because now the damage has been done. And the issue is, I guess she issued some sort of half, and excuse my French, some sort of half-assed apology to try to make everything okay. And the issue is that when you do stuff like that and then you don't even really show that you really even cared or learn anything from the incident, now basically you have a whole angry society on your back. So now, you know, with all of your education and everything else that black women like to throw up in the black man's face about this, that, and the other to make herself seem more than the black man. So now let's see if all of that can save you now. Because all of that learning that you did or whatever the case, it doesn't mean anything now. Because now you've broken the law and you got to suffer a consequence for it. It's so, it really, this is just, you know, it's really sad of what people will do just for an ounce of recognition. It's very sad. And not only is it sad, but it's dangerous. Young women like these, and she looks to be of childbearing age, young women like these are becoming mothers. And the issue is that when you know, and when you become a mother, you know, you are actually, again, in a leadership position where now you are not only responsible for yourself, but for somebody else. And if you have women like that have a mind frame like this, like Carly has, what hope do we have for the younger generation? What can she teach? What can she tell someone else about behaving the right way, behaving the way that a young woman is supposed to behave that is worthy of respect? You can't tell nobody nothing because the issue is, like I said, they're looking at the fact that, okay, this woman, she looks like she's halfway decent. She looks like she got a clear mind of herself. She looks like she's able to think clearly. But again, you know, I have to really go back now and really look at the whole situation and really think, okay, with young women like this, are all of them this way? Now, I wouldn't say that all of them are that way. But again, it makes you think now. It makes you think about really the mentality of the quote unquote average black woman. What will she not do to get attention? And like I say, you know, those people that are out there that are really doing videos that are really delivering insults to black women, they're going to use this as ammunition to the fact of, you know, to base their arguments on the fact of why black men should not even be with black women. You know, you're crying for equality. You're crying that the black men don't accept you and they don't want you, but you're giving them the reason and you're giving us reason. You're giving me reasons not to even want to be with you. Because of the stupid stuff like this. Nobody wants to claim somebody that is a mental head case. And one thing about it that we talk about also mental illnesses and you know, mental issues and stuff. Because again, the woman, clearly there's some things that's going on there and she may need to be evaluated. I don't know, in a mental hospital or something like that. I don't know. But the issue is that I'm pretty sure, excuse me, her mental health is going to be pretty much a component of this investigation. If it's not already, you know, in that particular way or whatever. I mean, this is unbelievable that somebody would stoop to the depths and do something so low as to say a child is rambling out there on the freeway. So that lets me know right there, if you were to have a child, and I'm just thinking critically now, if you had a child, it wouldn't matter. You would put that child's life in danger just so you can get what you want. And that's a dangerous mentality to have, especially for a woman. Because again, we don't know what you're capable of now. I don't know if I could trust you with my seed. How, when you behave like this, how can I trust you? And see, one thing about it, that any type of issues and crimes where it involves a young child. And see, that's the issue right there. That's the core of this. When I first heard about this, and I'm like, a young child is wandering on a freeway, I had to drop what I'm doing, because I'm like, I begin to pray. I'm like, Lord, please, don't let that child get harmed. Let that child get in a safe place. I hope that they find the parents of this child. That's where my mindset was. And to come to find out, all of this was just a hoax, just for the sake of getting attention. Man, like I said, I really, shoot. We got some crazies now. I mean, it's like and just like I mentioned in my last video, those who were born after 1990 and earlier, man, or farther, I should say, moving forward or whatever, they got some issues. Is something wrong with them? I don't know. It's something wrong with the brain. The brain cells are not really It's like the maturity level is not there. The body is, but the maturity level, the brain has not met and caught up with the body. I mean, really. I really hope and pray that, that this is a lesson to all of those that may think about doing something stupid like this. And for them to think twice and to think of others before themselves. Because again, this is also a clear case of being just plain selfish. So, I think I'm going to kind of like put a thumbtack and just kind of stop right now. Because again, there's so many things that's going on in my brain right now. Just so many stuff. Just so much stuff, about how someone can do something like that. You want attention like that so bad that you would actually try to blame a fictitious baby. God help you, Lord help you. And God help who, if she ever becomes pregnant and have a baby, Lord help us all. That's all that I can say. But anyway, to God be the glory. I'm going to leave that alone. That's a subject of another video. I'll talk with you guys soon. Peace out.